Hello, California, and welcome to this week's edition of Your Financial Compass, the show that helps you successfully navigate to and through your retirement. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, and joining me in the studio are two financial advisors from Bulman Wealth Group. We have Scott Vlahon and Sean McAmoyle. We're so glad that you're joining us today. We have a really fun conversation for you all about spring cleaning. No matter what time of year you are watching the show, we know how good it feels to clean out our closets, clean out our houses, clean out our garages. Well, did you know that it's equally as important to do a spring cleaning on your finances? The reality is so many folks are living with a very cluttered financial life. So we're going to talk about what that looks like and then provide the solution for you so that you can have a clear-cut plan and make sure you're on track to reach your retirement goals. Scott, Sean, always so great to be here with you. I'm looking forward to this fun conversation. What's going on in your world this week?
Well, my daughter's 11 and her room's very cluttered, but when I was going through it recently, the new Taylor Swift album, which I know you're a big fan of hers as well, my daughter had bought the record, the vinyl record. That was one thing amongst the piles of mess she had. I'm not really a Swiftie. I appreciate her because of her success. Sean loves Weird Al Yankovic, if you remember him. So he probably wasn't excited, but that was big news in our household recently.
Oh, yes. No, for sure. And I've met your lovely wife, Julie, and I know what a special, father-daughter bond you have, but also mother-daughter bond. And weren't they that for Halloween? Like one of them was, your daughter was Taylor Swift and your wife was a fan or something?
Yes, good memory. Yes, that was actually, I think, last year. So I even forgot that. What is today's show? I forgot what the show's about.
And I like Weird Al's hair. Weird Al Yankovic's
hard to beat.
hair. Yeah.
Hard to beat, for sure.
It is very, very healthy and curly. The perm, yes.
Well, it's interesting because we did a show on this subject a year ago, and I think it still really deeply resonates with folks because it's very relatable.
Totally.
And I think to set up today's conversation, we need to understand why so many folks are having a cluttered financial life. So if that's you, please know that you are not alone. This is a very common thing. We often refer to having a financial junk drawer. Think of how our lives are these days. Unlike previous generations that often worked at one job, we called it womb to tomb employment, right? You graduated from college, you got a job, you worked at that company for 40 years. Well, on average now, according to the Department of Labor, most folks will have had on average 8 different jobs by the time they reach the age of 35. So if you think about that, right, that means multiple retirement accounts. It means multiple things scattered in different places. So it's very common for families to end up in that position. So Sean, let me start with you. What have you seen in all of your years of experience of doing this kind of work, that things that can contribute to that financially cluttered life?
She's saying you're old, by the way.
No,
She's
I'm
saying,
not.
don't
no.
messenger.
Well, I think the idea of a garage really resonates with people because it is the place where we put stuff. We may ultimately have another destination for it, but the garage is an easy place just to put it and then forget about it. And over time, we collect stuff, we collect junk. And just like you were alluding to in our financial lives, as we go about life, as we go about our work, we tend to collect a bunch of financial stuff. And it can start to look like a messy garage. And we actually have a picture of Scott's garage here.
I sleep, my bed is back there in the corner, so it blocks the sunlight.
So this is this picture of a bunch of junk, but imagine instead of bicycle tires and bins and ladders.
Old appliances,
just imagine over the course of your life, you've collected, IRAs, CD IRAs at various banks. You have 401ks at past employers. Sometimes you work at a company and you were eligible for a small pension. You left the company, that pension's still there, and you've totally forgotten about it. Insurance policies. Over time, people think diversification is, I should open up accounts at many different institutions.
Right.
And now in this world of electronic statements, people just don't get paper statements like they used to as reminders. It's all now electronic. And if you've lost your password or you haven't logged in, that's financial stuff that's going to be really hard to retrieve and find and figure out where its place is. So our job to help people organize and clean up their financial garage really becomes important.
Yes, for sure. Let's explain a little bit more about the risks that people face when they are staying in this cluttered state with their finances, because what you don't know can hurt you, right?
Yeah. Well, Sean started to touch on it a lot with people changing jobs and being more transitory now. You'll have accounts from jobs you didn't work for, 20 years past. You forgot you've got an old 401k there. And then, we finally retrieve it. And it's like washing a pair of pants. You find like a $10 bill. Sometimes you find a $10,000 or $100,000 401k somewhere. But a lot of times it's way outdated, meaning it's invested in something that the younger version of you wanted, that it could be totally out of alignment with your current risk tolerance. And sometimes something as basic as who's the beneficiary on those accounts. We've met with people before where we looked into accounts, they found an old one, and an ex-spouse was the beneficiary, or someone who was married, had been married for 10 years, their mom was still the beneficiary on the account. So something as trivial as that, God forbid something happened, the money's not going to your spouse, it's going to your new spouse, it's going to the ex one. Mm-hmm. So it's just all those little technicalities that we want to keep track of, and there's a lot less stress when it's not cluttered.
Yes.
Like I'm one of those guys, I hate to look at my little email icon and there's like a red bubble with a number. Sean's got like 40,000. Well, that's more like Chris, the guy that runs our firm. Mm-hmm. I don't like that. I like cleanliness, and I think a lot of times with the money elements, it can be that way as well. Mm-hmm. Well, would you rather have 10 accounts at one place with one person overseeing it, or 10 accounts in 10 places? Mm-hmm. That's an easy answer. So a lot of it is just the efficiency of having it all in one spot can help.
Well, and the problem is then it can't be coordinated, right? So you have all these different maybe buckets of money. They're not cohesive. They're not working together. They're not coordinated for you. And there's missed opportunities with that. In fact, you were mentioning old 401ks, and according to Capitalize, the average balance that's sitting around, floating around out there unaccounted for in some of these old and left behind 401k plans is over $56,000. I mean, that's a lot of money, right? Yeah. And so it's important for folks to make sure that all these pieces are working together for them. When someone does feel like their finances are scattered or unorganized and they feel overwhelmed by that, how can someone like what you do for folks at Bulman Wealth Group, how can that help bring order and help and organization to their financial life?
Right. Well, when you think about your garage, you want to pull everything out, clean the floor, get it organized. But then you want to go back in, you want to put up hooks and shelving to get everything up off the floor and organized. That'd be the first step. Well, at Bulman Wealth Group, we've created essentially the hooks and the shelving for you, and it's called our financial compass. And there are five areas that are key to the financial compass, and we use that as a way to help organize our clients' financial garage. It's thinking about all their income sources. What are all those things out there that you have that are in your garage that could create income for you in retirement? We think about taxes, healthcare expenses going forward during retirement, your trust and estate planning documents. Do you have them? Have they been updated, or do they not exist at all? And then we talk about your investments, but that framework of the financial compass that we use when we have conversations with people, in essence, create the way to organize your financial garage.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and it's a step-by-step process that you guys have helped navigate through with hundreds of folks. I know that more folks are going to benefit from connecting with you as a result of today's conversation. You're offering the complimentary Financial Compass Review. Explain how that's going to tie into what we're talking about today.
Well, A, Sean just referenced some of it. B, it starts with a conversation where we answer questions, find out what your concerns are. And another thing, too, that we've been working on that if you call the number below, we can get you a copy, is kind of a financial inventory checklist. Because sometimes you don't even know what you're missing, and it could be a catalyst to be like, oh, yeah, I did have this old account, or I've got this, or I forgot about this. And so you call the number below. A, we want to set up a time to talk, but another element to that is if you want this checklist to get your things more tidy, I would argue there's some value there. So call the number below and we can have these discussions. You can get this checklist and we can see if we can tidy things up and one less thing to be stressed about.
I love that. One less thing to stress about is always a good thing, right? Well, Scott, Sean, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, that number to call to schedule your time to receive your complimentary Financial Compass review and to grab a hold of that financial inventory list for yourself. That number is there on the bottom of your screen, 888-970-4685. Or if you'd rather connect online, simply scan that QR code in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, and that will get you connected as well. Stay with us. When we come back, Scott and Sean are going to walk you through the step-by-step process to help unclutter your financial life right after this.
You've worked hard to build your legacy, but without a clear estate plan, everything you've built could be vulnerable to delays, legal battles, and unnecessary taxes. Probate can take months or even years and leave your family with an added stress during an already difficult time. Many people think having a will is enough when it's only part of the picture. That's why we created the Estate Planning Readiness Quiz. It walks you through key areas like powers of attorney, healthcare directives, trust, tax strategies, and more. In just a few minutes, you'll find out how prepared you are and where you may need help. It's not just for the wealthy, it's for anyone who wants to protect what they've worked for. Scan the QR code on the screen or visit bwglegacyquiz.com to take the quiz today to start planning with clarity.
As Americans, we strive for better. From a better house to a better career to a better life for our kids. Better has become the American way. But when it comes to your retirement, what does better mean to you? More income? A flexible lifestyle? Better solutions? A better retirement begins with a plan. To get your complimentary written financial plan, call the number you see here. You only retire once. This is your opportunity to plan for better.
Welcome back to Your Financial Compass. I'm Kristen Oakley here with both Scott and Sean from Bulman Wealth Group, and we're so glad that you're hanging out with us today. If you're just tuning in, we've been talking about cleaning out your financial life, similarly to cleaning out a garage, if you will. So what's in your financial garage? Is it cluttered? Is it unorganized? Do you not know where things are? If that's you, again, it's very common, very normal, but we want to walk you through a step-by-step process on how to clean your financial garage. And, I think about times when we've done massive cleanings at the Oakley household, right? And usually there's piles, you're sorting stuff. You have the keep pile, we got to figure out where it goes, the throwaway pile, and the donate pile, right? Mm-hmm. Same thing is kind of happening when you're getting financially organized. So what's the very first step that you recommend someone should take when they're cleaning out their financial garage?
Well, in the context of, say, they're meeting with us, sometimes just being asked the questions can be, get someone thinking about, oh yeah, I've got this, or I didn't even think about that, or hey, oh, there's this, or nudge their husband or wife, didn't you have that there? So just being asked that question, and we mentioned this leading in the last commercial break, I would get you a copy of our inventory list where maybe you need to sit and look at it to trigger and jog your memory to start reading this, and it's just very liberating in a sense, and especially when you find out, money, as you said, the average 401k that's left behind is $56,000. What if we look it up and we find old accounts that tally up to, a couple $100,000 or even $10,000, $15,000? That all comes in handy, and it adds to, the pile of money that we had, and it just, the less, as we've said before, the more tidy we can have it, the less stress we have. I always think of that girl, Mary Kondo. She had like the Netflix show.
What brings you joy, right? What was the title of the book? But you had to ask yourself, does this spark joy, right? Yeah.
Sean's
the
old
magic
Duran
art of tidying
Duran
up.
fan club. He keeps that, even though he doesn't wear the shirt anymore. But it's if there's not a value to it, get it out, and we can see in tidying it up and trimming the fat, and just it should only be there for a certain purpose. And sometimes you need people like us that know the questions to ask, because we've done it with some of the other clients. So that's really where we can start.
Well, once all the pieces of someone's financial picture are laid out, how do you then assess, okay, like piles, right? What do we need to keep? What do we need to update? What do we need to change?
Yeah. Well, I love it when someone comes in and they sit down and they bring their manila folder, a couple of inches thick of old statements, and we sit down for the first time and have a conversation. they're expecting us to grab that file and open it and start, throw this away. You don't need this. You don't need this. But we don't do that. We have a conversation. We have to understand what their goals are and what they're trying to accomplish. Then it gives each piece in that folder in their garage meaning, and it helps us to determine whether you need to keep it, whether it's going to add and help move you towards your goal, or whether it's unnecessary. So it's creating unnecessary costs, a duplication of investments. It's not tax efficient. But we can only do that when we truly understand what you're trying to accomplish, what your goals are, what your past experiences have been. And that really comes back to the financial compass.
Yeah, for sure. Well, nothing is more disheartening when you clean a garage or a closet or whatever the case might be, a junk drawer, and it's all organized, but then a few months go by and next thing you know, it's back to where it was, right? So once you help folks organize and streamline the different pieces of their financial life, how do you help ensure that they stay organized and on track moving forward so that they don't backslide, if you will?
Well, I think a big part of it is, say someone has accounts or has multiple advisors in 3 different areas. Obviously, I'm biased, but I'd rather be us managing all of that. And if that is the case and all the accounts are under our watchful eye, I think the chances and likelihood of that are a lot less. So we won't allow that to happen. And then there is a certain peace of mind. You could argue there's a peace of mind knowing all the accounts are there. I don't need to keep track of all this and all the million statements. I can throw all that away and shred it because I know they're there. They have the statements. So I think that's another reason, just the tidiness of it and the organization and the coordination of it all. And especially once we find it, where it fits in the plan and what purpose that particular account serves, and they work in conjunction, I think the likelihood, as I said, is probably not going to happen again because we wouldn't allow it to.
Right, exactly right. And that gives a lot of peace of mind to clients who work with you, that knowing, okay, I have this mess, but I'm bringing it to you and the team. You're going to help me organize it, and we're going to be able to keep it that way. What a gift.
Yeah.
I think there's 3 words that we use a lot, especially when we're thinking about the messy financial garage, and that's peace of mind. But then there's clarity and confidence. And Scott was alluding to this idea of clarity and confidence. Clarity being, you know what you have, and you know why you own it, and you know what its purpose is. And I would challenge anyone at home to think about, to pull their file out, go in their garage, look at their financial statements, and ask themselves, why do I own this? What is its purpose? Is it meeting its purpose? And how does it fit into my overall plan? And if you can't answer those questions, then I think a visit with us, a conversation with us, will be well worth their time.
Yeah, for sure. Because I know a lot of folks end up with different types of investment tools and accounts, and they're not even sure where they came from, why they have them, what it's doing for them, right? And so this is part of that assessment. And I know you are offering this awesome financial inventory checklist as well. So remind our viewers what they're going to be able to receive when they call into this show, but also about that checklist.
Yeah, so if you call in, there's a couple things to consider when you do that. If you just want to have sit down and have that list so you can sit down and take inventory, call the number, we'll make sure you get a copy. But if you want to have a further conversation beyond just that, because you want to retire soon, or you're retired and you're worried about costs going up, you're worried about, are you taking too much risk in your portfolio or not enough? Any of those things, or you want to make sure that enough money's going to your loved ones or a charity of your choice, those are all areas that fall under what we call our financial compass review. And I would call the number below. It all starts with a conversation. We're not dating just yet. We're just getting to know each other. Then we find out, do we want to start dating? Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But generally, you'll have some questions answered, and you could leave with a little bit more clarity than you had before you called.
Yes, clarity, confidence, and peace of mind. It does not get better than that. So Scott, Sean, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, that number to call to start your journey with the team of Bulman Wealth Group and get your financial garage organized is there for you on the bottom of your screen, 888-970-4685. Or again, if you'd like to connect online, simply scan that QR code and that will get you connected as well. We'll be back with more right after this.
You've worked hard to build your legacy, but without a clear estate plan, everything you've built could be vulnerable to delays, legal battles, and unnecessary taxes. Probate can take months or even years and leave your family with added stress during an already difficult time. And many people think having a will is enough when it's only part of the picture. That's why we created the Estate Planning Readiness Quiz. It walks you through key areas like powers of attorney, healthcare directives, trusts, tax strategies, and more. In just a few minutes, you'll find out how prepared you are and where you may need help. It's not just for the wealthy, it's for anyone who wants to protect what they've worked for. Scan the QR code on the screen or visit bwglegacyquiz.com to take the quiz today to start planning with clarity.
The last thing anyone wants is for their legacy to become a source of a family feud. Yet without clear planning, inheritance disputes and emotional battles can tear families apart. Our complimentary ebook, Avoid the Family Feud and Inheritance Nightmares, uncovers the hidden threats that can cause these conflicts. It offers strategies to help safeguard your legacy and support your loved ones. Download your copy today.
Welcome back to Your Financial Compass, where today we have been discussing the importance of cleaning your financial garage. We know how good it can feel to get organized, but beyond that, as Sean mentioned before the break, there's 3 other added benefits. You receive clarity, confidence, and peace of mind when you know what you have and how it's working together to help you achieve your retirement goals. Again, this analogy is so relatable, and I love that you guys talk about this with folks of the financial garage. What other ways can getting financially organized really impact a person's overall stress levels and just well-being in general?
Well, we can talk about it, but what we want to do is have our audience at home feel it as we do, right? So we kicked off the segment talking about your messy financial garage. That over the course of our life, we collect stuff. We collect financial stuff. Old 401ks, insurance policies, banks, statements, different accounts at different firms. It's not uncommon for us to find someone who's got 15, 20 different accounts or scattered throughout. And it's like your messy garage. And if I can have the messy garage image come up, and this is how it feels. This can feel overwhelming and stressful when you think about your finances, when you walk into your garage and you see that.
Yeah, it makes me break out in hives just looking at it now.
Right. Y'all, I'm triggered.
And as much as it's been on your to-do list to clean the garage, you get overcome by other things. But when you do, if you do work with us and we're able to pull everything out and inventory it and put the shelvings and the hooks up to organize it, and we all know how you feel when you've cleaned your physical garage and you look at this beautiful space and the stress that just leaves your body, and you're proud of look at my garage. It's just an amazing feeling, and you can feel the same way when you get your financial garage organized and you understand what you have, why you have it, and just gives you peace of mind.
Yeah, for sure.
And hopefully, we know that when people work with us, they feel that stress leave their body just as they do when they clean their garage at home.
Yeah, for sure. Well, from your experience, why would you say it's so beneficial for folks to partner with financial advisors and a team such as yourselves at Bulman Wealth Group for this to be an ongoing relationship versus just a quick fix or having, someone come in and clean it for you, but then they leave and that's it, right?
If we're left to our own devices, we'll fall back into the same habits in many instances. So I think a lot of it's just a consistency and having someone like the little angel on your shoulder, hey, don't allow this to happen, or hey, we forget about this. And a lot of it comes back to the plan itself. Say we've built out a financial plan. Well, the only thing we know about a plan is that plans change. So the plans are always going to be changing. And hey, your son's getting married, your daughter's getting married, or you're going to move, or you're going to sell this property, you're going to inherit money. All these different things come in, and we don't want that to come in and mess up the picture that we've built or the clean garage that we've helped curate. So it's just having that group there to make sure we don't get back to maybe some of those bad habits. There's some value to that. So amongst all the other things, just having that coach, so to speak,
Yeah.
is something to be mindful of.
Tangibly, I know we've talked a lot about the intangible benefits. Tangibly, what's one of the biggest rewards that folks experience once they have their financial lives cleaned up and organized?
Well, again, it's not uncommon for us to find someone that's got 10, 15, 20 different accounts spread out all over. So one consolidation is, again, if we could cut that in half or even more, then that reduces costs. Not only just real costs for account maintenance fees. There could be trading costs. In many cases, you can get a better fee reduction if you've got more assets with one advisor. And certainly, as we consider pricing, we consider the whole relationship as well. There's tax benefits. I think
greater tax efficiency, right?
Total tax efficiency. Those smaller accounts that are kind of out there you've forgotten about, those could be great opportunities to do even a Roth conversion, right? Because doing a large Roth, converting a regular IRA to a Roth IRA can create a big tax bill. So perhaps taking one of those smaller IRAs that you've forgotten about could be one way to strategically approach really important tax projects like converting from a regular to a Roth IRA.
Another thing I've seen, people will come in and they'll have accounts with multiple advisors and multiple companies. Well, I'm diversifying. I would argue that's not diversifying. You don't go to a restaurant, they got 4 different cooks in the kitchen making something different. We're only getting in each other's way. So sometimes having just the one cook in the kitchen or one head coach or one quarterback, there's so much value in making sure these things don't happen. So having multiple advisors is not, in my opinion, diversifying. That's only making the picture more
complicated,
the water more murky. So we'd rather be your one advisor if it gets to that point.
What we've also found is that usually there's one person in the family that's in charge of finances, that knows where everything is, that has the passwords. And for the other one, the spouse and the family, to know where everything is, to know it's all put together in a plan, gives the entire family peace of mind.
Yes, for sure. And that is so crucial. So everyone can be on the same page, right? Well, Sean, Scott, thank you so much. I'm excited for more folks to connect with you as a result of today's conversation. If you are wanting help in these areas that we've discussed today, we encourage you to reach out and schedule your complimentary Financial Compass review. 888-970-4685 is that number to call. Thanks so much for joining us. We look forward to being back with you next time here on Your Financial Compass.